Hi, I'm Dan O'Hara. He's Scott Wilson. This is the Sports Express Network.
From Pop Warner to the Dome, from 5Ks to marathons, from Little League to work leagues, focusing on the community sports lifestyle in Central New York.
Do it to it. Go and do it.
Hey, here we are. I'm here with defensive coordinator Scott Wilson from the Auburn Pride. Auburn traveled to Troy this weekend. I think it was, a 3-hour trip by bus. Take on the Troy Fighting Irish. They sit at 6-1, second place in the NFA, but Auburn went down and kind of put it to them.
Yeah, we definitely brought a physical kind of football there on Saturday night. Probably something they weren't expecting. Even though we played them tough the first time, our record didn't show how well we've actually played, so I think they were a little surprised.
Yeah, I think that Auburn has one of the lowest points against totals in the league. I mean, you lost, games by 12 to 13,
10-7.
10-7, stuff like that. So, quarterback position is probably the main concern, but this is the first time we've had the same quarterback 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks in a row, Sean Johnson, he's been handling the football. And this week, I got to say that we did a good job driving the ball down the field. But the story of the game is the defense, and the offense was able to put the defense in a position to make plays and create turnovers, and that's what happened.
Yeah, we gave up that early score. We had a blown coverage on third play of the game, and we ended up going quickly out on the next set of offense. We punted. They had the ball in good field position. We managed to hold them. Our offense had bad field position at 10-yard line.
Yep.
And they drove down to the other end of the field and kind of flip-flopped the field position. And from that point on, we kind of had the field advantage.
Well, Auburn being in the red zone 4 times and not capitalizing is a huge concern for the offensive side of the ball. It comes down to understanding the play calling and putting plays in that is going to work against that defense. And, I think that Auburn did a good job of that. We just didn't execute it correctly. If you watch the film, we had some big opportunities that were missed based on, confusion or not understanding the play calling, which, you watch film, you got guys wide open down the field, you got to be able to take advantage of that and make the throws. And we just didn't do that in the red zone.
Yeah.
But, again, hey, defense is the story. Talk about the man of the hour.
Buck has been that guy most of the year. He's a physical presence. He creates havoc. Other teams are forced to double team him to, probably, I'm sure, game plan for him. And yet he still manages to make plays game in and game out. We're down 7-0, halfway through the fourth quarter. And picks off I don't know if it was a screen.
It looked like a little shovel pass.
Shovel.
We'll take a look at it.
He picks that off, manages to keep his balance, takes it to the house, and then the very next series, we get a big hit, a fumble. He scoops that up and runs it in for a touchdown. So, it was quite a sight to behold. And he had plenty of other plays in that game. And the whole defense as a whole, we had three picks, 2 fumble recoveries, and I don't even know how many sacks, but a lot. That quarterback, unfortunately, he got hurt, and then the next kid came in and he got hurt, and we were putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
So the first meeting with Troy, we lost that game 12 to 13. Again, it was a defensive battle. Listen, Ryan from Troy does a great job finding athletes. He's got a couple guys on that team. Number 22 is lightning fast. Gets through the line of scrimmage very well. Also plays offense. They just do a great job of putting people in the right position. But I got to say, Saturday night, I think you did the better job of putting athletes in there. Hey, Henry Bradley, the NFA leading rusher last year, played some defensive tackle. And I got to say, pretty impressive. He making plays on the D-line.
He did. He made plays. I can't say enough about every guy who showed up Saturday night. You could ask anybody to go anywhere and do anything, and they were full speed going out there giving it their all. And that's kind of the way it should be and has to be for your team to be successful. So.
And bringing Trey Backus in on the edge, on the D end, and everybody looks at Trey. Trey's, not a physically gifted guy. He's small, but boy, he can create a lot of havoc with his speed.
He is so quick that these big linemen they try to block him, and he's like a jitterbug. They can't get a hand on him, and he makes a lot of plays.
Let's talk about. Dan Conley. When he gets involved with the Auburn Pride, he comes down and watch practices. He literally says, "Listen, you got legitimate D1 kids playing here. And you look at your linebacking core, you got Javon McShane, who unfortunately went down with an elbow injury. We think he dislocated his elbow, it popped back in. Don't know if he'll be ready to go for Saturday. I doubt it. But you got Shamar Williams, who is the leading tackler in the NFA, who is just seems to be everywhere the ball is. And if he makes a mistake, he's so athletic and fast that he makes up for that mistake. Yeah. And then you got number 12, Charles Gary, who hits like a truck and just hawks the ball down. So, talk about your linebackers and how easy that makes it for you to game plan.
Yeah, our linebackers, they understand the game. They all have that feel you have to have at linebacker. That they're very instinctive, and they communicate with each other well. They make sure people know where they're going when they're blitzing, and all three of them are always around the football. They never seem to be out of position, and I have to say I love all three of them, but Shamar Williams he's special.
Should be NFA all team.
Yeah,
he should be.
He just, if anybody wants to take the film and watch, he's around the ball 99% of the time.
Yeah, I believe he leads the NFA in tackles at this point in the season. So then you look at the secondary. We picked up a guy out of Syracuse, Emmanuel Flowers. I had a pick last week, had a pick this week.
He stepped right in, and I've been putting him in at safety, but our corner couldn't make it this week, so he stepped in to play corner, and then somebody else stepped in to play safety, and we didn't skip a beat.
And you got JB Javon Thomas, who get your cameras out, because when he's on the field, it's scary watching him hit somebody.
Yeah, I know it's old school, my era, but he's very, Steve Atwater and, some of these other big hitters of the day that, man, when he gets moving and he hits you, yeah, he rattles some cages. He's physical.
Last week, he played on the punt return team, and he just took the gunner and just manhandled him.
He almost took me out.
Took the guy right off the sidelines. Coach Wilson had to do a spin move and a jump and to get out of the way. So, you look at that defense. We've been told numerous times we have the best defense in the league, and I gotta say I think we do.
Yeah, we were down, a couple of our D tackles this week, and we took Travis, who's a D tackle or a D end, put him at D tackle. He had a great, first half. He was breaking through the line every other play. The guy was about tackling him to get him down. So that's what I say. Everybody did what needed to be done and stepped up, and that's a sign of it.
Let's take a look at the recap from this past weekend. We'll take a look at this and go through it from the positives and one negative and see where we are. Here it is right here, first play of the game. It's good to see Nick Barksdale out there getting passes. There it is, boom, big 6-yard gain. Good throw by Sean Johnson, gets outside, great play. Here, hey, what can you say about Kaz Rouser? This is what Kaz does. You throw it up to him, he'll go get it. Great play, rips the ball away. Kaz just had a great game. That's, anytime Kaz gets the ball in his hands, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So the bright spot of the offense this year is your fullback, Matt Warren. Big 12-yard run for a first down. He is so big, strong, physical. He's great to watch. This is one where the defense comes back on the field, and this is how they swarm. You see 4 or 5 guys around the ball. But Troy did get a touchdown, blown coverage on the defense. And this was, unfortunate. One thought it was a cover 2. The other thought it was a cover 3. Nobody was back deep in the center of the field. Easy score for Troy.
Nobody pointed a finger. They both said it was my fault. They both, took ownership of it.
And here's nice. Buck. Buck gets up the field. He's locked up, sees the ball, reads it, just plucks it out of the air. Of course, the camera guy's going crazy. Buck takes it in for 6. Later in the game, here's Buck again. I think Trey caused this fumble. The ball hits the deck, and all of a sudden, Buck comes up with it, and he's off to the races. Shows his athleticism here with a little layup. And that's pretty much the recap. 12-7, Auburn up on top. So what's next this weekend? You got Lockport Wildcats coming to Holland Stadium. It's Veterans Night. We're going to appreciate our veterans and, hopefully have the color guard out there and do some nice things there. So we don't know much about Lockport. We've watched some film. They pretty much run a spread offense. They run some pistol, but they seem athletic up front. Roland does a good job with his team, and Lockport last year was in the championship game with Syracuse.
Yeah, we don't have any room for, any margin for error. So, we got to win all our games going out. So I don't take anybody lightly. I don't care what their record is. We have to win. So, coming in that game, I treat Lockport like I would Troy or Syracuse. They're the next guy in the line. We got to come out. My biggest thing is I try to make our defense dictate what they do instead of the other way around. And I think whether they run spread or whatever, I think if we pressure the quarterback, we can make them come out of what they're comfortable in.
Offensively, we've got to move the ball. I mean, we moved the ball last week. Pretty happy with their progress, but we got to not only move the ball, we got to put it in the end zone, and we've got to put points on the board offensively. You can't rely on the defense to do it all the time. So, Lockport this Saturday, 7 o'clock, Holland Stadium. It's Veterans Night, so if you're a member of the military, you get in free with your military ID, and we'll be right back. So Auburn plays Lockport Wildcats this Saturday, 7 p.m. at Holland Stadium. Let's talk a little high school football. Sports Express is going to roam the area. We're going to go to Wheatsport. We're going to go to Port Byron. We're going to go to Auburn. We're going to go to Skinny Alice, and we're going to do a little, little reporting on the high school roundup. So exciting.
Can't wait to do it.
So listen, if you guys got a story, get a hold of Sports Express. Rob's got it on his website, sportsexpress.com on Facebook. Check it out. We'll come out. We'll do a couple interviews, see how the team's looking, and go from there. But I'm from Wheatsport. You're from Auburn. So can't wait to go back and do some stuff there.
Friday Night Lights.
Doesn't
get any better.
Talk about baseball. You're a baseball guy. What's going on in the MLB?
MLB. I have to bow my head. Looks like the Yanks are running away with the East, and the Sox had their run last year, and they got a year off this year.
Big Red Sox fan. Don't hold it against him.
Yeah.
His views or points of interest have no bearing on Sports Express. I'll throw that in there.
Yeah. But yeah, and for those out there that aren't Yank fans, the Mets are pretty hot right now too, and so good time for New York baseball, and a few other teams stepping up this year that aren't your every year runners. The Twins are playing good this year, and Braves are playing good. So it's kind of nice to see some new teams. I still think, if you ask me, I think it's going to come down probably to Astros and Yankees. They look like the two loaded teams, and in the West, you can't bet against the Dodgers. Teams as good as they were last year, they came within a whisker of winning the World Series.
So how does it happen? A guy from Auburn is a Boston Red Sox fan, a Dallas Cowboys fan, and really that's the only two sports that matter to me, but you're a Lakers fan?
Lakers fan.
How does that even happen?
Montreal Canadiens.
You're a mess.
I'm all
He's
over.
an absolute mess.
All over. Well, everybody in my neighborhood when I was growing up was a Yankee fan, and I was that kid that always wanted to be like the thorn in their side, so they all hated the Red Sox. So,
well, Scott's dad's in the audience, and he turns 88 tomorrow, so wish him a happy birthday.
Yep.
And when I said he was a Cowboys fan, he laughed. He's an Eagles fan, right?
He's an Eagles fan.
Yeah, Eagles.
And my mom was a Redskins fan, so yeah, we had quite the household.
Oh, this house is a mess. No wonder I don't come over to your house anymore. But anyway, hey, that's it for Sports Express. We'll be back next week. Come to the game Saturday night against Lockport. Hey, see if we can go 3 in a row. Thank you.